How's it going, everybody? Mr. Holton here, and wait a moment. That's better. You know, it's been quite a while since we got that reveal trailer for the next Mass Effect game. In fact, it's been more than 3 years and 4 months, and counting as of making this video. And while the project has been shrouded in mystery, there is in fact quite a few things we can gather about the future of the Mass Effect franchise. Now, just like in past videos about the subject, I'll be breaking down everything that we currently know about the next Mass Effect game, and I'll be leaving all the theorizing and speculation until other videos. But before we get into all that good stuff, I'm just gonna have to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by no one, actually. But I do want to mention that if you're planning on buying something from the BioWare Gear store now or in the future, remember to use my personal tracking link right here. You know, just in case you want to support this channel. Alright, that's enough shilling for today. Let's get right into it. Now, the official trailer for the next Mass Effect dropped during the Game Awards 2020, and it was met by one of the most hyped up reactions to a reveal trailer in recent memory. In said trailer, we both hear and see multiple references to past games like the blaring horn of a Reaper and a destroyed mass relay floating among space debris, to then seeing a mysterious individual climbing on a dead Reaper, with the individual in question turning out to be none other than Liara T'Soni, the beloved Asari companion from the Mass Effect trilogy. There were several other details in the trailer as well that points to what the future may hold, but the main takeaway was that Mass Effect was back, baby! And not only that, but as the main focus was on the callbacks to the trilogy, it's pretty evident that the Mass Effect team wanted fans to prepare for a return to the Milky Way galaxy. The main man behind the new Mass Effect game, Michael Gamble, aka the project director, then took to Twitter to reveal some very interesting details about what we can expect for the future. But first, he revealed the names of some of the devs that have been actively working with him on the next game, several of these turning out to be veterans from the original trilogy days. For example, we have Dusty Everman, who had the role of senior level designer during development of the original trilogy, and who, according to Michael, was one of the key people in bringing the original Normandy SR1 to life. And this time around, he's the principal narrative designer for the new game. Parrish Lay was also revealed as another veteran developer that's returned to BioWare, and being the original cinematic director, we can most likely expect a lot of equally epic shots and moments in the new game. Because if there's one thing that the Mass Effect series is known for, it's the gorgeous cinematography present in all 3 games. Brennan Holmes is another big name on the list of vets, being one of the key players behind a lot of the gameplay aspects throughout the trilogy. In this slew of tweets from Michael, he also revealed that the original art director for Mass Effect, Derek Watts, was also back and working with this new team, which, just like with all the previous guys, is a big deal, considering Derek's art style is what gave us the aesthetic that Mass Effect is known for. So at the very least, the next game is most likely going to look and feel more like the original games. Now, because of the massive excitement after the reveal trailer dropped, Michael proceeded to answer various questions on Twitter, answers that confirm at least a couple of things. First of all, one user asked whether the thing Liara is climbing on in the trailer is indeed a Reaper, and Michael replied, "I'll give one for free, yes," meaning what we're seeing is indeed a post-Reaper War galaxy. One user mentioned hearing the line "Godspeed," referencing the first time the Tempest took off from the Nexus for the first time in Mass Effect Andromeda, to which Michael responded, "Intentional." The very talented artist Lazari asked, "Opening shot also has a very pointed imagery of 2 galaxies. My mind is racing. Are we going to get a single sequel to both games?" To which Michael responded again with, "Intentional." Now, if you've been following this channel or just the overall reveals ever since then, you'll see why these replies make a lot of sense, as we'll get into that as well. But this brings us to the next official reveal, which was on N7 Day 2021, where we got our first official poster for the next game. Now, I've gone over this poster in detail in several previous videos, but to give you a rundown, this poster essentially represents an impact crater in the shape of a Geth. Geth being the main race of synthetics we have to deal with throughout the trilogy aside from the Reapers. In said crater, there are also details that point toward this crater being caused by a particularly hostile force, as in it, several bodies of not only Geth but Quarians can be found as well. Below the Geth-shaped crater, we can see not only a 4-person squad making their way toward the crater, but we also got our first glimpse at what could very well be the successor to the Normandy SR-1 and 2. Interestingly, the ship has the designation SFX, and for die-hard Mass Effect fans, you'll know that this is a reference to Science Fiction X, which was one of the titles Casey Hudson and the team had come up with for the game before deciding on Mass Effect as the official title. As an interesting side note, BioWare's general manager, Gary McKay, mentioned on the BioWare blog that the poster hides at least 5 details that hints at what's next for Mass Effect, which I've also broken down in previous videos, so make sure to check those out if you haven't already. Now, not too long after this, Brennan Holmes, who I mentioned earlier, tweeted a job posting that all but confirmed something that had been suspected for quite a while. That being that the Mass Effect team have indeed moved on from using the Frostbite engine to now using Unreal Engine, possibly even Unreal Engine 5, to build the next Mass Effect game. Now, I'll admit that I'm an amateur when it comes to game engines, but looking at it from a layman's perspective, this sounds very much like a good thing, as we've all heard about the difficulties BioWare faced when using Frostbite, and after seeing what Unreal Engine 5 is capable of, I'm personally very hopeful that the next Mass Effect will both look and feel better than ever. Knock on wood though, as we simply won't know before the game comes out. As an interesting side note, Michael Gamble did actually respond to a tweet from Character Technology Director at Unreal, Chris Evans, on what challenges developers would like to be tackled in future releases. And here we clearly see a Salarian making a face, to which we can assume that the Mass Effect team has been facing some difficulties when it comes to animating alien faces in Unreal Engine 5. Again, it's not much, but this does hint at them seriously using Unreal 5. Now, to continue with the good news that has come out of this project, it was revealed in 2022 that both Michael Tucker and Mary DeMarle had joined the Mass Effect team. Now, this speaks volumes for the narrative side of the game, as Michael Tucker, a screenplay writer known for his channel Lessons from the Screenplay, has already proven to have an excellent understanding of not only what makes Mass Effect great, but on narratives as a whole. And an interesting side note again, as Michael Gamble took to Twitter not long after this to express how impressed he was by Michael Tucker. And I can't help but wonder if Tucker managed to solve something that up until this point proved to be an obstacle on the writing side. In any case, Mary DeMarle is up next and joined the Mass Effect team as the Senior Narrative Director, which is essentially the one in charge when it comes to weaving the story together with characters, dialogue, and the moment-to-moment gameplay, meaning that Mary here has a massive role to play in the development of the game. Now, why her involvement is so huge is because she was a key figure behind Deus Ex Human Revolution and the sequel Mankind Divided. And fairly recently, she received the Game of the Year Award 2021 for Best Narrative for Guardians of the Galaxy. And so with the inclusion of Mary, the next Mass Effect game is led by quite the heavy roster of industry veterans, which is why I have such high hopes for this next game. But we're not done yet, as we've yet to delve into some of the more recent reveals. First, we had N7 Day 2022, where we got a pretty massive tease in the form of corrupted footage that shows us the construction of a new form of mass relay. Now, this footage alone contains tons of details, which again I've broken down in previous videos, and I've added these to the video description for your convenience. However, the most important detail is not actually the footage itself, but the sound, which when decoded by some pretty smart individuals on the internet, proved to contain the voice of Liara speaking to what can only be a Geth. Here, have a listen.
I conceived. How did we miss this? Exactly. The Council will be furious. Although they should know by now not to underestimate human defiance. It outsources their most endearing trait.
Now, what all this means remains a mystery, but at this point, together with the previous poster unveiled in 2021, we could pretty accurately assume that the Geth will definitely make some form of return. Now, this brings us to the latest reveal, which was on N7 Day 2023, where we got our first actual glimpse of the game itself, and possibly even the protagonist. Michael Gamble, ever the tease, started posting links to various EA pages containing encrypted information, and after a community-wide effort to solve these encrypted puzzles, the end result was a short trailer giving us a look at a mysterious character. Now, whoever this individual might end up being, Shepard or otherwise, what this trailer proved was that the next Mass Effect game is not just a pipe dream. As Michael revealed on Twitter that yes, this short clip is indeed rendered in engine, meaning that what we're seeing here is most likely at least somewhat reflecting the final look of the game. Now, things could absolutely change as the game is still in pre-production, but what this little trailer proved was that the Mass Effect team does have a real vision for this game, and the end result could very well end up being a true next-gen experience. Now, obviously, we have to mention the Angaran in the room, as on the new official poster released on N7 Day 2023, we can see quite the crowded bar that has a pretty heavy cyberpunk theme. And in said bar, we can see not only a Geth standing next to a seemingly important Asari, but we can clearly see an Angaran talking to the mysterious Asari figure. And despite what many may think of this, I think this is the clearest sign that the next game will be a sequel to both Mass Effect 3 and Andromeda, just like Michael Gambel has previously teased. That said, time will tell as more information will no doubt come out soon enough, and I'm looking forward to finding out more on this year's N7 Day. But that's basically everything we actually know about the next Mass Effect game. Thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. Mr. Alton signing out.